freedom of speech, pretty important thing. Something probably very intimately tied to a healthy and fully functioning society, and something that the capitalist world loudly proclaims is something that is very pronounced in its society, something that supposedly makes it so much better than the evils of communism. Well, not really. You see, they do carry out the censorship, and quite a lot of it, actually. Here's a prime example of that. The CPGB-ML have had several of its members arrested. What is their alleged crime? Speaking out against Israel. That's right. At least two of their members have been arrested, or were arrested, for hate speech, for simply providing literature that spoke out against Zionism. You know, that ideology that's anti-Semitic, it's anti-Jewish, and it calls for the, mass murder of Palestinians. That's right. Speaking out against genocide, speaking out against the genocidal ethno-state of Israel is what will get you arrested in the UK. The police confiscated the materials. They confiscated literature, which in no way, shape, or form broke the law, but in fact was trying to defend human life. That is the state of affairs in the UK today. But we see a lot more of this going on around the developed world, if that's the term you want to use. In France, they attempted to ban all anti-Israel protests, claiming that they were in support of Hamas, an alleged terrorist group. And then the French courts decided that that should be decided on a case-by-case basis, meaning you would have to actually prove that a protest against Israel's ongoing genocide was actually pro-Hamas and not against the actual genocide that's going on. In other words, you would have to actually prove that it was a hate rally rather than just blanket calling them all that. In the US, there's been, particularly Florida, student groups banned by Governor Ron DeSantis because they opposed Israel's ongoing genocide. And now Ron DeSantis is being sued by one of those groups. In Canada, Dr. Abraham Weisfeld of the Bundesliga, the League of Jewish Socialists, is still facing hate speech crimes for writing and to free Palestine. A man in Calgary said publicly, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." And he was arrested and eventually released and had the charges dropped for hate speech for saying that. Saying Palestine will be free, he was arrested and charged with supporting genocide. Really? Saying someone should be free. Yeah, you know what? You know what I'm trying to say here. It is simply ridiculous that the CPGB-ML would be targeted in this way. And that the UK state, for all of its bluster about being some kind of bastion of freedom of speech, is so much better than the old Soviet Union, would do this. And it shows you what kind of freedom of speech there really is. What's even worse about this is that actual white supremacists, actual racists can point to this and use this as an example to claim how they control the government, they control society. And it looks like it's true, even though it's not. So they end up spreading the very conspiracy theory that not only isn't true, but they themselves want to combat because of their own actions. Because Israel does wield some amount of influence, largely through organizations like AIPAC in the United States. It's by no means a conspiracy. It's a political action group. It's funded by Israel. It tremendously interferes in the domestic politics of the United States. It buys off politicians just as any political action group does. It just has a hell of a lot of money. It's no secret that Israel is the United States' best friend. And the opposite, the reverse is true. And that if Israel didn't exist anymore, and if Palestine was free, it would not be an ally to the United States. And one of the few very, very friendly countries that are friendly with the U.S. The U.S. would lose its most important ally in the Middle East. And that's what's so frightening. That's why the U.S. is so blatantly, openly supporting Israel's genocide in order to defend its own interests, to defend its own empire, the same way it defended the apartheid state in South Africa for so long, until it was very clear that it had lost, and then all of a sudden switched sides and acted like it was defending the struggle against apartheid the entire time. So we should probably remember this when Israel falls. Who was siding with the genocidal monsters? Who was suppressing freedom of speech? And remind those who are so nationalist-minded, those who are so anti-communist, who are quick to say, Herder, Stalin took away my grandpa's freedom of speech. Exactly who's doing the censorship here and why. Because as it stands in the UK and many other of the first world countries, they're censoring the people trying to speak out against a genocide. Not even just some difference of opinion like wanting socialism instead of capitalism. They're censoring, speaking out against genocide. Something that shouldn't even be of any question. Something that shouldn't even be a matter of opinion. Something that is basic human dignity, and something apparently they can't even seem to understand.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.